Vanessa.
Hi, I'm Ray,
And
and we are
Orderly. So today we're going to talk about decluttering. So these 2 episodes, we're going to focus on decluttering. Today we're going to focus more on the emotional side of decluttering. Right? The first thing we're going to talk about
is the psychology behind it, right? Like, why is it so hard for people to let go? Why do people always want to hold on to their things? And what's the most common thing we hear from our clients?
I think number 1 is the just in case, right? What if I need it one day? Right? I'm keeping this, like I saved it from maybe like IKEA spare parts, right? What if I need to use it one day, right? What are some other ones?
I think a lot. The other more common ones that I hear of are like, is that it's sentimental, like it's because this was from when I was X years old, and there's always somehow a narrative that's tied to it. And I think what happens is that we're holding on to that narrative so tightly that it seems like we are still trying to relieve that memory, right?
Okay, contentious question. Do you still keep things from your exes?
Hey, husband, don't watch, don't watch.
Have.
Have. Maybe just one. Really, one only. Because expensive, cannot throw.
Okay, but it's a useful thing or?
Yeah, I'm wearing it right now.
Okay. Okay,
I think he doesn't know. Yeah.
Okay, what about you? I think I only very recently threw them all out.
Oh, like what?
Like cards and all that.
Okay.
But okay, so backstory. I got married, not like a short time frame lah, but like within a 2-year time frame after my last breakup, and then I moved out straight away, right? So I really didn't like deal with all of that. Then only recently when my mom was trying to rent out the room, then I had time to go back and actually declutter and look through things again. But yeah, I finally was able to let go of everything also.
Ah, interesting. And how was it like as you were going through all those cards and sentimental items?
I think it's actually quite fun to look back on the journey that brought you to where you are today. But at the same time, I think I'm right at a point where I can feel like actually I'm happy with my past and I can let go of that. And now I can continue building more memories with my family now.
I love that. And I think that kind of reminds me um, that where everyone's decluttering journey is different. And as you brought up your own experience of decluttering your ex-boyfriend's things, right? It just makes me feel like it's also okay to declutter at your own time. And sometimes, if you're really not ready to let go of it yet, it's okay to buy a little bit of time. Of course, that being said, if the amount of things that you're holding on is really a lot to the point that it's affecting your family members' way of living, your own way of living, then I think it is important to let go bit by bit. But if let's say it's just 1 to 2 shoebox size containers of like cards or like sentimental items, then I think it's okay. So personally for me, I actually took some time to let go of all those cards as well. And actually those, not from ex-boyfriends, but from like good friends from secondary school days. And I used to write a lot of letters in primary school. Like, pen pal? Do you have a pen pal?
I did not.
Oh, yeah. And it was so lame. My pen pal wasn't really a real pen pal. She was like my table mate. We just pretend to be pen pals. It's so funny. And we were in primary school.
So cute.
Yeah, and we'll write each other letters. But true enough, because she's Indonesian,
Yeah.
so she went back to Indonesia eventually. And we really eventually kind of became pen
That's so
pals.
nice.
Yeah, and so I kept all those letters and from primary school days. And then secondary school days were like, little love notes from like our band members, so 加油, for SYF, that kind of thing. And then like letters to your best friends and things like even till JC we were writing letters I was writing letters to my best friends. So I was keeping all of that till I think it was like last year or the year before. Literally one shoebox, Converse shoebox. I didn't even bother changing out to like a plastic box. And of course the Converse shoebox was like yellow and spotty, right? But one fine day I just took it all out, had a good laugh, kind of like really just kept a few and just took photos of them, like digitized them, because I think it's also quite gross that it's been around for 10
very
years.
moldy, right?
Yeah, then I just kind of...
But digitizing it, I love that. Yeah, because
Yeah.
at least you keep the memory of it, but you don't actually keep the physical object.
But to be honest, there were a lot of notes to
I
digitize.
know.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
to digitize everything was really not that practical. So what I did was I really just picked a few, digitized the key ones that I really, really love, and then just kind of got rid of the rest. Lah. Yeah.
I think for me, as an educator, the hardest ones to let go of now are when the kids write you cards for Teachers' Day, or sometimes randomly, especially for the younger kids, they love writing cards. And then you feel like, oh, they were so innocent, so cute. And then you love every effort that they put into the cards. So actually the best Teachers' Day present, tips, is the cards, okay? The cards are really the best present to receive. And then I love reading their handwriting. And I know, like, I'm not supposed to say this, but I love the misspellings when they try to spell the words on their own and it's wrong. But it's just so adorable to me. Yeah, so those are the hardest to let go of for me. But same, I also had to find one day to actually look through everything, especially when I was moving, right? And only keep the ones that I felt were the most precious to me, or the ones I felt like they put in the most effort. Sometimes I display them also. And that's also a way for me to kind of keep them, but not put them away, or like make, like, have to set aside more space for them.
Yeah, and as you're doing that purging and letting go, right? I feel like it's also us reminding ourselves that it's the story that we put behind the action, right? It's the meaning that we put behind the action. As a teacher, if you let go of some of your students' cards, does that mean you don't appreciate them anymore? No, it
Yeah.
doesn't mean that. You still think about them, you still care for them, right? You still love them. And it's really not about the fact that I have to keep the physical item in order to still remain that relationship, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I think one last thing that we face, especially with the older clients, is the fear of wasting. When they get rid of something, they feel like, oh, it's so wasteful. You know, like, why are you getting rid of something that's perfectly okay? Right? What do you have to say about that?
Wow, this is pretty recent as well. As you asked me this question, I recently had a client that has quite a lot of clutter in her home, and what I noticed is a lot of the same things. Yeah, a lot of from a particular category, and it's really challenging. I think working with older clients is probably one of the most challenging group that we have to work with, right? Because for them back then in their days, they lived in a period where things were pretty scarce. They maybe couldn't really afford much back then, and right now maybe their children are supporting them. Things are a lot more affordable, right? I mean, Daiso, $2.
Yeah.
Who can't buy $2, right?
Exactly.
So it's really easy to overconsume. But yet, if you ask them to get rid of anything that's in excess or give it away to someone, they would feel like it's really very wasteful.
Yeah.
Because to them, they've already spent money on it. Sunk cost fallacy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I recently read this quote that really resonated with me, is that if you're on the wrong train, it's better to get off where you are than to stay on the wrong train and get off at a later stop, because then it will take you a longer time to get back to where you need to be.
Oh, all philosophical eh. Wow, I love it. But then, I guess it's also acknowledging that you're on the wrong train, right?
Yes, exactly, which is very hard to do. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for a lot of people, they might think, yeah, I'm going somewhere. Maybe I don't know where I'm going. I'm still on the train. I just don't mind moving on the train. But even though I don't really know where I'm going, I might just still want to stay on the train, right? So I guess to our viewers or listeners who are watching this episode, if you have elderly parents who still struggle to declutter, I would say we will always recommend to be patient, right? And the best advice that we always give is to lead by example, because we really believe that the whole process of decluttering is not just something that we can impose on others. And it does take a very deep mindset shift
Yes.
to want to declutter and let go. Sometimes it does take a long time, but we do have clients who tell us that, sometimes just by doing a little bit in one space, just one cupboard, and they can see the difference, they can witness the transformation and feel the transformation, then they would be willing to take a step further already.
Exactly, you're right.
Yeah, so really not to push it. And I know as, perhaps there are children, it may feel really frustrating, but really our recommendation is to just lead by example and keep your own personal area tidy and minimal first, because then once you begin to live a more clutter-free life yourself, the way you talk, the way you buy things, the way you take care of your things will be different, and your family members can see that, and slowly they will be influenced by that as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that we also tell our clients is that instead of living for the future, or keeping things for next time, or you're afraid to waste, because what if you need it next time? Think about your needs now, your current needs, especially if that item hasn't been used for like years and years. If let's say you just bought it maybe 6 months ago, then okay lah, maybe it's okay to keep for now, right? Really, you might need it in future. But if it's been like 10 years, 5 years that you haven't used it, then maybe you really don't need it in this phase of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also being very mindful that things do go bad, right? Like things, like for example, skincare, if it's been around for 3 years, I don't think you should be using anymore, especially for those that don't have expiry dates. And even things like paper, right? They can get spotty and moldy. Singapore's weather is not very forgiving. So it's always good to clear all these things, and it even helps with like your health, because your home would be a lot cleaner, more hygienic, it's easier to maintain as well.
Exactly. So how would you define decluttering and organizing?
So for me, I would say decluttering is the process of letting go, getting rid of things that you no longer need in this current phase of your life, be it you throw away or donate or give it to someone, right? And then only keeping things that you really, really need and you will use. Whereas for organizing, it's creating a system in the home that makes sense for you and your family members, meaning giving everything a home, identifying where this item is going to stay, is going to live, and then sort of finding the most appropriate organizing product to house it. Yeah. Did I pass or not?
Pass. Full marks. Yeah. Like in science, you get like the full mark.
I know, 老师, teacher. Yeah.
Okay, so now let us also talk about some tips for busy people. How can they declutter? Okay, we'll get into it, like the details of it next episode. But let's just give a little teaser.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you what's your tip, but then you're a minimalist, so it's like, do you even have things to declutter?
Hardly. Okay lah, my kids stuff. Okay, mainly it's my kids stuff, and then they always come. Can you not throw my things away?
So you know mommy's gonna throw already.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I can't deal with the mess.
So quick tips, right, for people who are really busy and want a quick win. So what we call this, like for just like micro habits, we do micro decluttering. What does that mean?
Meaning you don't be so ambitious. Start small. Give yourself maybe like 5 minutes or 10 minutes in a like one sitting to just quickly do it as much as you can. You don't have to like force yourself to take leave for the whole day and then declutter your entire house, because sometimes it's very overwhelming also, right? Then before the day, then you get so anxious. You're like, I have to declutter tomorrow. I have to face everything that I own.
Yeah, I love that. I think a lot of us find decluttering a chore already. So the more you want to make it perfect, or the more you want to achieve a lot out of it, it's just like you're setting yourself up for like a really, really difficult task. So I think the easiest way is to do it 5 minutes, and you really just go to one area of a home that's driving you nuts, right now, and then bring your trash bag with you. Yeah, and then just clear
Sweep
stuff
place.
that you don't want anymore. Don't even focus on organizing it first. Just declutter, let things go first.
I also feel like if it's only 5 minutes, then you can do it more frequently. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it every day. Like we're not saying like declutter 5 minutes every day, but even like once a week, once every 2 weeks, even once a month, 5 minutes every month is like great already. Because some people only do it like at one sitting before big events like Chinese New Year, Hari Raya, Deepavali, before people come into their house, right? So
But we want it to be a habitual thing.
yes,
Yeah.
like make it a lifestyle when you frequently review your place and declutter as you go along.
So I guess it's really letting it go, letting the concept of doing it perfectly go, and also just doing it in really short bursts, right? Just 5 minutes.
Actually, which brings us to what we're going to do starting this month. So we're going to
Yes.
have monthly 5-minute declutter with us sessions.
We're gonna record it on YouTube. I'm gonna film it at my house or other people's places if I run out of things to declutter. Trying to be a minimalist, yeah, and so we hope that also serves as like a motivation. If you want to declutter but you feel very sian to declutter yourself, just play that video and be like, oh yeah, like someone's doing it with me, and then just have that playing in the background. Yeah, I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, and if you are looking for more decluttering tips, watch out for the next episode because we'll be going in depth into how we actually declutter.
Yes. Okay, so we'll see you next episode. Thank you. Bye.